Okay, we can push Senator Recto.
Just one last query, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Abad of the AMLA, if that's possible, with regard to the cases filed against the witness.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, Ms. Abad, who else have you filed anti-money laundering against with regard to this case? Only one respondent?
No, with regard to this case, Your Honor, we filed a criminal complaint against the 4 account holders and Ms. De Guito, Your Honor.
So the 4 account holders who are fictitious persons.
Yes, which
So
appear to be fictitious.
in effect, only one person.
Well, we implemented John Doe's, a.k.a.
Yes,
the
yes,
4
yes.
names. So
No cases have been filed with representatives of Philrem.
no case yet.
No cases have been filed with anyone with RCBC.
No case yet, except the branch manager, Your Honor.
So only one.
Well, that is without prejudice to the final outcome of our investigation,
Yes,
because our
yes.
investigation is still ongoing, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Yes. What is the final penalty as far as that section mentioned earlier?
Your
What is the
Honor,
penalty?
let me just correct that the charge against Ms. De Guito is violation of Section 4F of Republic Act 9160 and not 4A, Your Honor.
What is 4F and what is the penalty?
For violation of Section 4F, the penalty would be between, I think, 4 years to 7 years imprisonment, Your Honor.
And 4A would be?
From 7 years to 14 years imprisonment, Your Honor. When I say Section 4F, that pertains to facilitating money laundering, Your Honor.
Facilitating.
Yes, Your Honor.
So only one, ha? Siya lang. Bakit inuna siya?
Well, because based on our initial investigation, it was already established that Ms. De Guito, as branch manager, allowed the opening of these 4 accounts without verifying the true identity of the account holders who supposedly opened accounts.
Okay.
So there was failure to perform an act on her part, and under the law, failure to perform an act which effectively facilitated the commission of the money laundering is also an act of money laundering, Your Honor, and punishable as money laundering, Your Honor.
Okay,
And then she also,
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
if I may add, Your Honor, it was also established that the bank on February 8, 2016 received a stop payment request from the Bangladesh bank, and despite such receipt, the branch manager allowed the transactions.
Yeah, okay, just to follow up on that, since you mentioned that, Ms. Julia Abad, no? There were other resources in the bank that she had nothing to do with it anymore, that was still with the bank in February 10 and 11. Bakit di naman kinasuhan other members of the bank kung sakali?
As I've said, Your Honor, our investigation is still ongoing. We are still, based on the evidence that we are able to gather, we are identifying who else are responsible for any act that would constitute money laundering, Your Honor. We haven't completed our investigation, but based on our initial investigation, it already became clear that Ms. De Guito has committed acts that constitute violation of Section 4F of RA 9160, Your Honor.
Yeah, but we do also have information in the Senate with regard to certain money still in the bank after February 8, not in the branch. Diba? Was paid, still paid out after, and no one is accountable there. I'm sure you have that information. So the question is, bakit parang selective din na siya lang ang kinasuhan naman? And why was it done before the hearing of the Senate?
With due respect,
Just to put that in record, on the
Yes,
record
Your
as well.
Honor.
Yes, yeah.
with due respect, I take exception to that statement that our investigation and the prosecution is selective, Your Honor.
I said is that it would appear, na siya lang kasi.
Yeah, as I have mentioned earlier during the first hearing, Your Honor, when we speak of money laundering, one of the elements of money laundering is knowledge. It has to be shown or proved or established that the person committing money laundering is aware or has knowledge or should have known that the money being transacted came from an unlawful activity. And so far, based on the evidence that we have gathered, it would appear that Ms. De Guito has become aware that the money being transacted came from stolen funds from the Bangladesh bank. As to other persons through which the money were transacted, we haven't established yet that element of the crime, the knowledge. So, based on other circumstances, we have to establish the
Based on that
knowledge.
statement,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, didn't the bank know that the SWIFT order or the stop payment order also came to the bank even before it went to Ms. De Guitos?
You mean the other officials of the bank, Your Honor?
Yes.
To
Na may
be
stop payment na rin.
yes, Your Honor. But based on our information, well, we were informed that the transactions were elevated to some officials. But as to who these officials are, we have not yet established, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.